I am Berizal Sikianis, and for today's video is I'm going to demonstrate or discuss the laboratory number 7 for the System Security Certified Practitioner or the SSCP certification. So we are tasked to discuss or demonstrate the two areas for the domain 1 and domain 6. So one area each domain. So uh, for the domain 1, which is the security operations and administration, I chose the area 1, which is the comply with the codes of ethics. So code of ethics is really the foundational element of any security professional or any security practitioner today that is certified with the ISC2 certification family. So the ISC2 is have their website, which is here at the isc2.org. Meron na dito yung Code of Ethics Preamble, Code of Ethics Canons, and as well as the general information about this Code of Ethics. Bakit nga ba may general information? Kasi hindi lang naman SSCP yung gumagamit nitong Code of Ethics na to. Bale, meron ding mga certifications na gumagamit dito. For example, the CISSP or the Certified Information Systems Security Professional, and the CCSP or the Certified Cloud Security Professional. So proceed to our presentation. We have here the 4 Code of Ethics. We need to satisfy them in order to have a good service as a security practitioner or professional. So number 1 is to protect the society, the commonwealth, and the infrastructure. So I have this YouTube video na napanood, and then sabi niya doon that the practitioner should put the safety and well-being of life above everything else. So we make sure that we always safeguard the people and safeguard the individuals that need their help of those practitioners before they worry about the information system. Next is to act honorably, honestly, justly, responsibly, and legally. So being a security professional or a practitioner, it is hard talaga to act professionally kasi we are in the security path. So kailangan talaga natin ma-satisfy ito in order to provide good service sa ating mga clients. So next is to provide the diligent and competent service to principals. The technology, yes, is a very mataas yung growth niya. Mabilis siya na mag-update. So we must kailangan natin ma-familiarize or kailangan natin ma-upgrade yung ating skills para makapag-provide tayo ng competent service sa ating principals. Next is the advance and protect the profession. So kahit anong mangyari, we need to protect our profession. Next is we have this phrase, which is the contract between professionals. This is the contract between the company and the professional. Meron tayong mga kontrata na napipirmahan. So we need natin siya basahin mabuti before tayo mag-sign, kasi may tinatawag tayong breach of contract na kapag hindi natin nasunod is may mga punishment tayo na kailangan magawa para masunod natin yung kontrata. Yes, may mga contract na nakalagay doon yung mga punishment mo. May mga kontrata din na wala, but nakadisguise siya as a phrase, tapos hindi mo siya nabasa and then you signed it. Medyo delikado tayo doon. Next is the applying ethical principles. Number 1 is the informed consent. Yes, kailangan po natin i-inform yung mga clients natin before they accept everything. Next is the higher ethic in the worst case. You regardless of what's happening, we should always have an ethical standard. We hold people to, and even if things are just not going well and things are not operating the way we should always try to follow the code of ethics. Next is a change of skill test and the owner's conservation of ownership, as well as the user's conservation of ownership. So for the domain 6, network and communication security, I chose to discuss the area 2, which is to understand the network attacks. So as you can see, we have here the OSI reference model and as well as the TCP/IP conceptual layers. These are the network layers na before we receive the information, meron yung bawat layers na pinupuntahan pa before natin ma-receive yung information. As you can see, sa OSI reference model, meron siyang 7, but sa may TCP, na-compress na siya as 4. Compress na siya as 4 layers na lang. So, for the network interface, nandiyan na yung physical and data link. Next is for the network and transport, as it is sila, but in the application, nandiyan na yung session, presentation, and the application. So, ano nga ba yung mga network attacks na nangyayari sa loob ng layers, sa loob ng mga layers na to? So, we will start at this physical layer. Sa physical layer, tina-target dito yung mga devices, yung mga organization, people, their interconnecting media ports of entry or power distribution. Yung attacks is nangyayari siya sa may wirings nung system. For example, the jamming attack, na override ng mga attackers yung information na papunta doon sa receiver. Next is the spoofing. Ito yung akala ng sender is legit company yung kausap nila, pero it is the attacker na pala. Next is the data link layer. Dito naman nangyayari yung mga attacks na nakadisguise as links. Commonly attacks na nangyayari dito is the DHCP list, parang partial denial of service, wherein kapag nakapasok na sila sa system mo, pwede kang magsisend sila ng packets or sa system mo hanggang hindi ka makapag-log in doon sa mismong system. Next is the reconnaissance attack. Pag nangyari to, pag nakapasok na sa system, pwede nilang makuha, mabasa yung mga files or mga kung ano mang laman ng system mo. Next is the network layer. It provide no form of authentication. Meron siyang dalawang types, the IP and the ICMP, which is kadalasan yung kadalasang ina-attack ng ating mga hacker. Yung attack is ICMP attack. This includes the Smurf attack that can cause denial of service. Next is the IP spoofing. Ito yung na-impersonate ng attacker yung trusted IP para mag-manipulate ng IP packet headers. Next is the transport. Dito nakakakuha sila ng mas maraming information. Attacks such as injection, parang they guess the next packet sequence, or forcing a reset of sequence numbers that results in their jumping ahead of legitimate area. They guess the next packet para yung susunod na sequence number is makuha na nila yung tama. So next is the session layer. Dito nangyayari yung mga attack na in between the receiver and the sender, which for example is the man in the middle attack. In between siya ng sender and the receiver. Pwede siyang makinig or pwede rin siyang mag-sniff. Sniffing wherein they gain the legit session IDs and spoof them. Parang ganun. Next is the presentation. There are 3 broad categories na kadalasang ginagamit ng attacker. Doon sila nagfo-focus para ma-attack nila yung isang system. Number 1 is the encryption, key management, decryption. Diba, sa system natin may mga passwords and also naka-decrypt and naka-encrypt yun, and then they decrypt them para makapasok sila sa system mo. Next is to know the net bias or the SNB vulnerabilities. Chine-check nila dito yung vulnerabilities na meron doon sa file server mo. Next is the authentication methods. Next is the application. It is often present the most accessible risk in an organization list of IT assets. Meron siyang meron specific classes of collaboration software na kadalasan nagfo-focus yung ating mga attackers. Number 1 is the collaboration systems such as the Skype and the Office 365. Number 2 is the voice and VoIP, the telephone services. So, attacks na pwede nilang magawa dito is the cross-site scripting. It typically involves code injection attacks without the users unwittingly facilitates and exploit the trust of users for a particular site. Ito yung hindi alam ng user na siya na pala yung nag-a-attack doon sa particular sites na napili ng ating mga attacker na i-attack niya. So, wala siyang kamalay-malay. Uma-atake na pala siya gamit yung uma-atake na yung mga hackers gamit yung pangalan niya. So, next is this common network attacks na nangyayari sa network natin. Number 1 is the distributed denial of service or the DDoS. This attack consists of a very large number of individual machines which are subverted to bombard a target with overwhelming traffic over a short period of time. Parang ang ginagawa nito is nagsisend siya ng mga individual machines para mabombard yung target and ma-overwhelm ito. And kapag na-bombard siya ng machines, nagko-cause ito ng sometimes nagka-crash yung laptops kasi na-overwhelm nga yung system. Next is the man in the middle attack. Ito yung sinabi ko kanina na in between siya ng receiver and the sender. Pwede siyang makinig sa pinag-uusapan nila, pwedeng pwede siyang um, mag-act as the receiver para makausap niya yung uh, sender. Parang ganun. So, next is the DNS cache poisoning. This occurs when a machine DNS cache has incorrect data. Ang nangyayari dito is na redirect yung user to a malicious website para dito na pumapasok yung mga social engineering na nangyayari wherein nakukuha ng mga attackers yung credentials ng users. Next is this dynamic host control protocol or attack or the DHCP. Ang DHCP kasi is responsible for dynamically assigning IP addresses for our devices. So, nangyayari dito is kadalasan this starvation attack. Nafo-forge yung request continually para sa new IP hanggang ma-flood siya, hanggang yung allotted pool of IP addresses ay maubos. Next is the spoof attack, wherein untrusted client spreads DHCP messages all throughout the system. Next is the SYN flooding. SYN flooding is just like the DOS attack. Nagsasend siya ng packet para ma-overflow yung system. So, kapag na-overflow yung isang system, hindi na niya hanggang hindi na niya makaya ng i-handle. So, nagka-crash yung system na iyon na nasisenda niya ng packets. Next is lastly, the smurfing. Para rin lang siyang DOS attack, but it exploits the functionality of TCMP and broadcast subnets configured to magnified ICMP pings. So that's all. Thank you for watching.